She is back. Jimmy's on the Park, proud sponsor, 706 to Munn in Clayton, 725-8585, or their website at jimmyscafe.com. Jimmy's is a great place for dinner before the Muni. What a great place to go. Just 5 minutes from the Muni, or maybe an after-dinner drink at Jimmy's after the Muni. Good morning, Kat Neville.
Good morning. I'm glad to see you.
Glad to see you. Glad to be back.
Yeah.
A world traveler that I am. It's nice to go, but it sure is nice to come back.
That's right.
And it sure is nice. It's nice to go to realize how nice we really have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you were saying that the trip was just gorgeous.
Oh, my goodness. The towns, they had a blanket over them for 50 years.
Yeah.
And we were in Prague. I'll tell you this quick story. The food was really interesting.
I'm sure.
Because I had lots of pretzels, Bavarian meats and sausages, Hungarian goulash.
I had lots of pretzels.
I had lots of pretzels. But I'll tell you this quick story. We were in Prague, and there was some graffiti on some of the walls. And so I asked the tour guide, I said, was there graffiti during the communist reign? And she says, no, there was no graffiti. And I was like, oh, right, because they were, tough and they wouldn't let you. She says, no, there wasn't any paint.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, wow. And then they had this street where they had this new capitalism where they had, Cartier and Brooks Brothers and all these high-end shops, Jimmy Choo shoes, all the way down this nice high-end street. So I asked the lady, what was in these shops during the communist regime? She said there were travel agencies in every single one of these buildings promoting cities we were not allowed to visit.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it was like that interesting. And then you'd see this building that was 600 years old, and it was ornate, and it was beautiful, and it was from the Baroque period. And I'm not kidding you, touching it was a building built by the communists in 1974 that was just this drab,
some sort of brutalist
solid,
architecture.
Concrete slab. And you're like, what were they thinking?
Well, it was all,
I mean, it was just such an eye-opening experience to be behind the Iron Curtain.
I can imagine. Very cool. And I'm heading out in a month for my trip. So part of my trip is going to kind of take me in those areas too. So
I want to hear a full report when you get back.
You will get one.
All right, let's get to some restaurants here. What do you got for us?
Okay, so this is our Feast 50 issue. And so it's basically our St. Louis Food Love Fest this month.
Yes.
And it's our annual anniversary issue. And this is our third anniversary.
Wow.
Which is mind-blowing because it seems like a lot longer and a lot shorter at the same time.
Sure.
It's kind of crazy. But what we did this year is we reached out to 50 of who we considered kind of the best people in the food business in St. Louis and asked them what they love most about food. So we kept kind of the general premise of the issue, which is asking people what they love, and it can be anything. But this time we focused on asking local chefs, bartenders, brewers, all that kind of stuff. And so what we have is just this compendium of all these guys kind of loving on each other. Well, I love so-and-so because of this, and I love so-and-so because of that. It's really a lot of fun. And so reading through everything, we had some stuff where we found that there was a lot of there were 4 people in particular that received a lot of praise across the board. And it kind of doesn't surprise you, but what we did, so it's Kevin Nashin over at Sydney Street, Gerard Kraft from Niche Restaurants, from Kraft Restaurants Limited, Mike Emerson over at Pappy's. Yes. And then Quy Tran over at My Lee. And so what we did was we kind of did these pullouts in the issue, and then we focused the Feast TV on the 4 of those guys. And so you should, if you have a chance, watch the issue, and you really kind of get to know each of these guys intimately, their personalities. And I think one of the most interesting stories was Quee's story, because he was like, he's very kind of out front. He knows a lot of people in the industry. He's kind of everywhere. He's extremely social and one of the nicest guys. But he really talks about his mother's role in launching My Lee, which launched back in the 80s actually as a Chinese restaurant. And it didn't do so well because there were a lot of other Chinese restaurants. And so she was like, you know what? We're Vietnamese. And so let's do a Vietnamese restaurant. And it was the first Vietnamese restaurant in St. Louis. And it's been, I guess, Joe Pollock went in and reviewed it. And he said ever since then, they've just been growing, and it's a total industry hangout. You go and you'll find GMs from the best restaurants in St. Louis, groups of chefs, whatever.
And that's behind Best Buy.
Yes.
On Eager Road.
On Music.
But that's their new location.
Yes, exactly. It used to be on Delmar, but their new location's on Music Boulevard. Yeah, exactly, right behind Best Buy. So if you haven't been to that restaurant, just the story, his mom is in the kitchen every single day. He's in the kitchen every single day. And if you watch the show, which you can see on feaststl.com, they have a humongous kitchen. They make everything fresh every single day. All the sauces, their pho stock. He kind of shows us all the spices that he uses for it. It's being able to hear from the people in the industry what they think is the best in the industry,
right,
and then being able to get behind the scenes with that. It was a really great experience.
That's pretty neat. Okay, so that's one.
Yes.
You can talk about Mike Emerson for a second?
Sure, if you want.
Okay, because Mike Emerson thanks you and me for starting Pappy's. Does he tell you this story?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was you and me, and we were interviewing Bobby Flay here. Bobby Flay was in studio. I said, "Come on in. You know more about this than I do." And at the end, I think you asked him, "Where are you going to lunch?" And
Absolutely.
he said, "There's a new barbecue place in town called Pappy's."
Yep.
And about a month later, I walked into Pappy's, and Mike Emerson says, "Are you McGraw?" And I was like, "Are you going to serve me with papers? What?" And he says, "Let me tell you the story that you and Kat were there, and we are the reason Pappy's exists."
I think there's probably more to it than that.
The food might have something to do with it.
Well, and you know what? One of the things, again, with this piece that we did with him, Mike is out there. He's out front greeting every single person. And we were there filming on a crappy day. It was like a Tuesday, and it was pouring down rain. I mean, the weather was absolutely terrible. The line snaked all the way around down the hallway. I mean, on any day in the middle of the week, bad weather, you're going to figure it's going to be a slow day. It was absolutely overflowing. There were people from England, from Mississippi, from Kansas City, from Baltimore, all these different places. So we captured what it is really. I mean, besides the fact that their barbecue is, unmatched.
Right.
But so much of what people connect with in this industry beyond the food, because there are so many different choices, is the people. And it's the experience of getting to know the people and kind of, feeling like you're part of that kind of like micro community inside of that restaurant. And Mike is brilliant at doing that. He's one of the best guys I know.
It's a great point. And I've made this point a long time. I'm not a foodie. I don't know the ins and outs of the spices.
You're getting there.
But what I love about going to a restaurant is when Mike comes up to you and says, "Hey, good to see you again." Not because I'm a guy on the radio, but because I go to his restaurant.
Exactly.
And so I didn't go there for a couple months, and I saw him out somewhere. He's like, "How come you haven't been in the restaurant in a while?" And so, I mean, it feels like you're part of the family.
Yep.
And that hands-on is worth its weight in gold.
The people that are the best in the business, they know that, and they practice that, and they teach their staffs to practice that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What else you got?
So another thing with regard to the Feast 50 is that, so we know about these guys that I just mentioned, but they're also, what's fun about asking these people that are in the know is that you find out about places that you've never heard about.
Right.
And so David Choi, who's over at Soul Taco, which is a really great food truck, and then they also have a spot in the Loop. He talked about this place, this Japanese sushi restaurant in Fairview Heights called Sushi Tatsu, and the address is 5725 North Illinois Street in Fairview Heights. It looks like nothing from the outside. It's next to a jewelry shop and not even a strip mall. It's like a two-family strip mall, kind of a thing. And you walk in, and it's set up as like a Japanese restaurant. They have a full Japanese menu with dumplings and sushi and all this kind of stuff, but they have a secret Koreanized Chinese menu. And I know. I was like, what? I have to go try this.
An ancient Chinese secret.
Exactly. So I guess the chef, he had owned a Chinese restaurant in Seoul, Korea, and he ended up in Fairview Heights, and so he's launched this Japanese restaurant. But if you ask for this other menu, they'll bring it to you, and there are no descriptions on the page. And I'll upload a picture of the menu to the site so you guys can see it. But There are no descriptions, so you have to ask, like, what is it exactly that I'm getting? And so it's really kind of this exploration, and the food is delicious. There are some unusual things that if you're adventurous and you want to try new stuff, one of the things that David Choi said that he really loves is this noodle dish with a black bean paste, which is extremely traditional, and it is unfamiliar to the American palate. So if you want something different, I very much suggest you try it. When I tried it, I really like things like fermented bean pastes and stuff like that. So it's a familiar flavor to me. But it's kind of a thick texture, and obviously it's black beans, and it's on these kind of thicker noodles, and it has a very mild flavor. So to me, I'm like, I can totally tell that this would be like comfort food for somebody who's really familiar with this cuisine. And I really enjoy digging into it. There's also something that's more familiar, which is like a fried shrimp with a spicy sauce. And what they do is they coat the shrimp in cornstarch and fry it real fast. So it has this kind of really nice, light, kind of very crunchy exterior. And then almost a sweet and sour sauce that is not a gloppy sweet and sour sauce that you would get in, out of a jar or something like that. And all of these just perfectly minced vegetables in there. It's served with steamed rice. And this other dish that I had that I really, really enjoyed was glass noodles, cellophane noodles, which you find on a lot of kind of Asian menus, but what they are actually transparent, and they're very thin, very delicate noodles, and they're made with a starch, typically like a yam starch, like a sweet potato starch or a bean starch, and just water. And so that was served with just stir-fried cuts of pork and veggies, like some zucchini and onion, and just this really not spicy, but deeply flavored soy and pork broth sauce. It was really lovely. I really recommend it.
All right. What's the name of this place?
Sushi Tatsu. Sushi, as in sushi. Tatsu. And full disclosure, I only had one thing off the Japanese menu, and it was their wasabi dumplings, and they were delicious. But I was there to try the secret menu.
Right.
And
so there's no secret handshake or secret knock.
You just have to ask.
Ask for the secret menu.
Yes, you just have to ask, and they'll walk you through it. If you kind of say, I like this, I don't like that, explain this to me. They'll open up and tell you about it. But that's what I love about asking people who know more about, like who kind of like know these little hidden spots. You can find out just these gems.
5725 North Illinois Street.
Yes.
In Fairview Heights,
Illinois.
Gotcha.
Exactly right.
All right. Feast magazine, Feast 50 is out.
Yes, I have it right here.
Okay.
We have a humongous cotton candy on the cover from Sugar Shack over in Kirkwood.
Of course you do.
And Jennifer Silverberg took the photo, and Lisa Triefenbach, Lisa Allen, our art director, she art directed it. It's absolutely adorable, so I'm thrilled with it.
All right, so newsstands everywhere.
Yes.
Feast TV is...
It's the second Sunday of every month, August 11th, I believe, on ABC 30 at 9:30 a.m.
Gotcha.
And then you can also watch it anytime at feaststl.com.
Gotcha. And then you can get Feast delivered straight to your front door.
Yes.
Every Sunday, if you subscribe to the Sunday St. Louis Post Dispatch.
Right.
And how about this?
What?
If you are so inclined, you can call and ask for the McGraw special.
What is that?
For the St. Louis Post Dispatch
Really?
delivery. Yes, you can. Go to stltoday.com, go to the video show, and up on front, right on that page, there's a click for the McGraw deal. So you can get the McGraw deal and ask for the cat deal to get Feast delivered right to your front doorstep.
I love it.
Not a bad deal. All right. Someday I'll work for the Post, but right now we've got this little joint venture going. All right, Kat. Be good. Good to see you.
Good to see you,
You're back. When are you leaving on your trip?
I leave August 30th.
August 30th.
Yep, and then I'm not back until the 15th of September. So I'll be gone for a while.
I have a food story for you.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
So I got a minute here. So we're traveling from the Czech Republic to Germany.
Okay.
On a bus.
Yeah.
Part of the actual plan. This was the plan. So we were in Prague. We were in the Czech Republic, and we were going to drive to the boat in Nuremberg. And so we're right on the border of the Czech Republic and Germany. And we stop off at a rest stop, and there happens to be a McDonald's there.
Aww.
So I was like, I wonder what a McDonald's is like in the Czech Republic. So I go in, and I'm standing in line. This woman comes up to me with a handheld computer device.
Yeah.
And she's like, kind of like says to me, what do you want? But it was in Czech. So I look at the board and I'm like, I'll have a big country and that's what it was. I didn't know what a big country was, but that's what I ordered. And I was like, and a large Coca Light. So she speaks to me in Czech, and I'm like, I don't know what you mean. And she's like, no mind. And she starts hitting buttons, okay? And then there's a little receipt comes off, and she hands me the receipt. Okay, I guess, so I go up to the front, and I show them the receipt, and they swipe my card, and so now I'm waiting. So now the food comes.
Yeah.
And I get the all country, which was some type of pork burger, but who knew?
Okay.
And then I got this other smaller thing, and I go to take it, and they're like, no, wait. And I'm like, well, what else is there? And they're like, potatoes. So I'm like, oh, I didn't order French fries, but okay. I'm like, but what's this? And she says it to me, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. So she turns to look at people behind the counter. She's like, how do I explain to this American what this is? And so they go, shrimpa. So she turns to me and goes, it's shrimpa. So I'm like, it's shrimp? I somehow ordered fried shrimp
Seriously?
At a McDonald's on the Czech-German border.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind.
Yes, I know.
That's crazy. Fried shrimp. Is it kind of like just a local favorite thing?
There's water nowhere near this area.
There are regional differences in McDonald's kind of like across the U.S., but that's interesting. And a pork burger. I like it.
A pork burger and fried shrimp. However, I'm allergic to shellfish.
Oh, right. So you couldn't eat it.
So luckily I asked what it was. Fried shrimp at a truck stop in McDonald's.
You would have ended up having to go to the emergency room.
What a world.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. FeastSTL.com. Kat, have a good week.
You too.
9:52. We'll come up and wrap up this hour in a minute on Big 550, KTRS, and STLtoday.com.